Hey, what's going on with it? We really appreciate you tuning in to the Let's Talk Jay Jackson live from Atlanta, brought to you by YouStreamRadio.com, bringing you millions of listeners and viewers, man. Thanks. We really appreciate it. Thanks for the love. Keep sharing your content. That's what it's all about. We're going to keep playing it, keep pushing it. I mean, that's just what we do. Worldwide weekly content, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. YouStreamRadio.com. Hey, we really appreciate it. Enough said. Now I got a treat for y'all. DMV Worldwide, I'm telling you, I got a treat for y'all. On the phone with me, I was able to catch up with him. I'm telling you, he's bringing some real hip-hop. You know, when I listen to his music, and I'm not dogging none of the artists out there, because I do appreciate the music that's coming out there. It gives me that feel, that organic feel of hip-hop. Yep, that organic feel of hip-hop, you know, from back when Gangsta, Premier, and everything. Man, I'm loving the music. I'm loving the sound, and I'm pretty sure y'all are, too. I'm talking about my man, Lord Baltimore. I got him on the phone with me right now. Lord Baltimore, you with me?
Yeah. What up, Jay?
What's going on with it, bro? Man, first, before anything, man, we really appreciate you taking the time out, your busy schedules, to be able to chop it up with you. We really do.
Ain't no problem, man. I appreciate you having me, you know what I'm saying, showcasing what I do. And, you know, we going to get it in, man. It's a good feel. It's a good look. YouStreamRadio.
Definitely, man. I'm going to tell you something, man. I'm loving the music. I'm loving the sound, man. I got a couple of things I wanted to get into, chop it up and everything. But if y'all don't know, Lord Baltimore, by way of Baltimore, Maryland, man, hot music, crossing worldwide. A lot of artists don't know he's able to penetrate, as I was talking to another artist, you know, giving them their world music. And what I mean by world music is able to go across from different states over to other countries and come back. And I have to commend you, bro, on what you're doing right now. You're definitely being an independent artist. I got to give you props for props is due.
Hey, man, I definitely appreciate that. It's, you know, it's definitely new to me, you know, because I only been, me personally, I hit the overseas market about over a year ago, so it's definitely new and groundbreaking to me. But man, there's nothing like it. It's nothing like when you can take your music from a little small city in the state of Maryland and be able to reach people in countries that I haven't even been to personally yet. You know what I'm saying? So It's crazy.
Man, I'm loving the music. Hot album out there. I'm telling y'all need to jump on this on Vimo de France.
Okay.
Out there in all your digital media outlets. You definitely holler at your boy, YouStreamRadio.com. You know I got you. I'm telling you, man, I love the sound, but I want to give them a little bit about Lord Baltimore if they don't know, as far as the sound and everything. Now, if you can go back a little bit, what inspired you? Go back a little bit, just a little bit. What inspired you? What was one of your first moments of hip-hop, and what inspired you to get into this music game?
Well, I can, just to go back just a little bit, what really inspired me to do it, watching my cousin do it. You know, my cousin, he had a rap group, and I was just watching them doing their thing, and, you know, that's something that I wanted to do. But what really got me into the mode where I was really locked into it, I was actually coming home from high school one day, and I was watching Rap City, and this video came on, and it was from Delta Funky Homo Sapien. The song is called called Catch a Bad One. And when I heard it, I was like locked. Like, it was like just hearing this wordplay and how you put together words, and the joint just like closed me in. So what shocked me is that I didn't know that he was from California. That's what really shocked me, because prior to that, the only rappers that I knew from California was like NWA. Back then, it was the Snoops, Dre's, NWA. So I wasn't even into, you know, Delta Funky Homo Sapien and like Souls and Mischief and, you know, artists like that. So that's what really shocked me, and that's what really opened my eyes to, you know, to come outside of what we were used to as far as like the New York artists in Philly, and just see a whole nother side, that the same stuff that I was listening to in California, they was listening to the same thing. So once I seen that, that's what pulled me in, and that's all I wanted to do as far as that side of hip hop, the whole wordplay and what I'm saying, skills and lyrics, and that was my thing.
Man, getting into your style and your content, and I must say this: if it hadn't been already invented, the word hip hop soul, if I can say that.
Yeah.
Hip hop soul. That's when I hear your music. Being able to. And I had to talk off the air with Diamond K about this type of music that has content versus music that lacks content. And I'm not really putting nobody in a position that I'm talking about the music, because I think there's always a lane for it. But as far as dealing with the music content, if you were closing your eyes or getting into this type of music with Lord Baltimore, if I'm speaking about, it really gives you that visual of what's going on. And, a lot of people, I think a lot of music lacks that, and it keeps you discombobulated. And let me ask you, what keeps you true to this type of music, living in the type of, as I can say, hip-hop process world? what keeps you true to this type of sound and everything?
I'm going to tell you honestly, man, it's a number of a few things, man. One, well, just to give you the whole spectrum of things, hip hop has always been about entertainment. We clearly understand that part of it. But the part of hip hop that people are missing is, when you go back to the source of what hip hop was about, it was about educating somebody. It was about touching somebody's soul. It was about, giving you, whether it was the harsh realities of life or whether it was your life experiences and just making it artful. And that's what really drives me to keep on doing what I've been doing for so long, is just to be creative. Like something, like I have to hear something, like when I listen to tracks and when I'm coming up with songs, like something has to hit me where I got to create something where, just like for instance, one of the main things that I always love to do is if I hear somebody say one word, I'll try to think of a creative way to say that same word but differently, to make somebody hear it and be like, what did he just say? And just like think it back, you play it back again, like, did he just say that? That's what drives me. You know what I'm saying? When I hear people say, like, I get that reaction like, oh man, he said that. Oh man, that's what really moves me. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm really touching somebody like that, where I'm making you think, not just, bobbing your head, but I'm making you think and listen. So you'll go back and hear it again and play it again. That's what creates timeless music, when you can constantly play it over and over and over again and not get tired of it. So it's not just the beat, but it's also, what are you talking about? That makes sense. Is it relevant? What is it talking about? You know what I'm saying? And changing somebody's life pretty much. So that's what drives me.
And, I'm glad to hear you say that, Lord Baltimore, because I had this talk off there with the other, some managers as well as some producers, and I had a conversation about that as far as influence on hip-hop as well as other things. And I'm glad that you were able to touch on that as far as the influence of the music, being able to have wordplay, to be able to exercise people's brain, or, even just taking them to another way how to say things, instead of doing something over and over again in the same type of music. Well, I think that sometimes people pretty much lose what music is. And like you said, it's about creativity, and it's also about keeping people thinking. Now, just to say this, like, if you think about it, what I would say is like the other music. And I'm not dogging the music out, because sometimes I might want to go to the club and, and I DJ a lot of the music. But at the same time, if I was to close my eyes on some of the music, like you said, what type of, it's like a nightmare sometimes. You're thinking about this, you got this going on, you got a Ferrari riding down the street, money thrown in the air, this and that. And if you think about where music has went, if you think about some of these lyrical content, too much metaphors and stuff like that, it really just combobulate people and really lead them astray. And I like the way in your music, it keeps you directed on to the point of the matter of what you're really discussing, still giving you entertainment. It's not like dragged out or born or anything. It's really giving you entertainment and, keeping you informed. And man, I got to commend you on this type of style in this music, man.
And thank you, man. That's the, that's the aim that I always shoot for. Is like, I want to create that happy medium. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got a lot of artists that I keep in company with here in Baltimore and like other states and, overseas or whatever that, I have artist friends that are, in the trap rap and, stuff like that. I also have artists that's heavy into, the underground and they don't want to break from that, which is fine. And, I don't down nobody because they doing the trap rap or the gangster rap. That's their lane, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if it's them, truly them, you know what I'm saying, then that's their lane. The underground artists that, that don't want to cross over, that's their lane. My whole goal is kind of merge the two, you know what I'm saying? So I can take a trap beat and I can spit some lyrics to it, you know what I'm saying? So that'll make people listen like, oh, snap, he flipped that. Then again, I can go to the underground because that's where I was birthed from, and I can still go on that side. So, I want to stay right in the middle, merge both of the two. So when I have somebody come to a show, it's not just, oh, man, I can't get into it. I want to merge everybody's mind so, you can be entertained and you can also, think a little, you know what I'm saying? So, and at the same time, I don't want to, oversaturate it where I'm always where it's something where every record you hear, you always got to think like, dang, I want to have you, to be entertained, to bop your head to it. And so, you can go in the club and hear some of my music and, you can still vibe to it. You know what I'm saying? So just that perfect balance that I personally would like to, merge. That's my whole goal, was to merge the both, the, one side and the other side, and just make that middle music so where it's still, both sides, but it's still me. At the end of the day,
the thing about your music and everything, the way you flow it, I look at it as a modern day, if I can say, scribe, hip-hop scribe, because if you think about the content that you're putting out and versus the other one, I think it's a need for both of them. You have the yin and the yang, and sometimes the music, I love trap music, I love lyrical content music where it can describe, but I look at the two types. There's a need for both of them. One of them is describing a high, fast lifestyle. One of them tell you the pros and cons of what may happen, or describing a life that you may be more related to. That's why I like, and I'm able to relate to, as I would say, hip-hop soul that can touch you. Versus the other music, if you was out and you were having a couple of drinks, and that's fine, but sometimes you do want to think. So I think there's a need for both of them. And I appreciate how you're more humble than some of the other artists, in being saying that there are two types of lanes, and you don't have no problem with standing the one that you did.
No, I mean, think about it. I mean, you from Atlanta, so you are down there. There's two of my favorite artists is from Atlanta, T.I. and Ludacris. Now, when you hear their music, some may think that their music's are polar opposites, but they're actually the same. You know what I'm saying? Because T.I. has the trap side to him, but people don't understand that T.I. got lyrics. Like, T.I. is extremely lyrical. He's extremely intelligent, so he knows how to keep that balance. Ludacris is the same way. Ludacris is extremely intelligent. He's extremely lyrical, but he knows how to merge those two. He knows how to balance this. So if it's time to get to on his witty side, he'll do that. He has the songs for the clubs, the songs for the girls. You know what I'm saying? The songs for the trappers or whatever. So they learn how to keep that balance, and that's why they're still relevant, because they can make records for anybody. And that's the whole point, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, again, I can't speak for everybody, but just for me, I want to be that type of artist to make records for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Not just one genre of music. That's why it's kind of hard for, somebody to put me in a box and say I'm this particular type of artist, because if you try to do that, then you'll hear a record like, well, wait a minute, I thought you was like this. No, I'm not. That's what you assume. You assume that I was in this type of lane, but then you heard something else that, totally messed your mind up, because, you can't title me as just one type of artist. Hip-hop is just so different. Hip-hop goes in so many different directions. That's what I love about it. You know what I'm saying? Because you can be one way this day, and then you'll drop a totally different record, and it's something like, oh, wait a minute. I didn't expect to hear that from him. Yeah, well, that's why it's called hip-hop. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. You keep it moving and everything. And I love the way you're able to balance the two. And I know that took some growth. Now, if y'all started tuning in, it's your boy Jay Jackson, live from Atlanta. Call us up, Lord Baltimore, on the phone right now on 347-945-6093. You can go ahead and call us live. Hit the group page, Facebook, YouStreamRadio Certified, or go ahead, go to YouStreamRadio.com, click the button, the EQ, and listen live. You can go ahead and check it. You know we got you. I got my man on the phone, Lord Baltimore. Hot new album. Hot. I got to say that, man. I got to say it again. Hot. I'm telling you, y'all going to love it. Make sure y'all check it out and everything. Now, I'm going to ask you, a lot of people didn't even know in the DMV area, they had a list that came up in a magazine about some of the top MCs, and a lot of people didn't know as far as your Source Awards acknowledgement. Let me ask you this. How was that whole experience? I mean, from, like you said, coming from Baltimore, being acknowledged and everything in the Source, how was that whole experience, and how did you feel about that?
Well, it kind of took me. This was probably about, it was February of 2011. What actually happened was back in January, a month prior, I was just really getting back into the Baltimore music scene, because prior to that, I was a part of a few groups where, you know, most of the shows and the venues that we were doing was all up and down New York and Connecticut and Jersey and Philly. So coming back to Baltimore, it was like a shocker, because it was like I was starting from ground zero again. And we got, I got wind to this concert. It was a contest, so to speak, and it was held through Source Magazine and Double XL Magazine. It was called the Top Mics Competition, and they came down to Baltimore. So I found out about it, did some research on it, and I said, well, you know, let me just, you know, check it out. So I went down there. I performed, and I actually won. I didn't even know that I was going to win, to be honest with you. You know, and it was a lot of different artists from Baltimore, D.C., and Virginia, but I actually won that night. And I got a chance to go to South Beach, Miami, the very next month for the Winter Music Conference Festival, and I performed. That was my first time performing in South Beach, so that was like that was different. It was crazy, but I couldn't ask for anything else, man. It was something that I never thought that would actually happen, and it was a beautiful experience, man. But to get recognized from Source and Double XL was crazy.
Man, I mean that's very big, and a lot of people didn't even wasn't aware of it. That was real big for the D&D area, for artists to be recognized independently, doing it on his own, because a lot of people don't even know that. Getting acknowledged by two of the major magazines in the nation, and winning and moving forward. So I think that's a great inspiration for other artists, independently, that's trying to come up on their own. And trying to do the things that have Lord Baltimore have did, man. I commend you on that, man. I really do.
Hey, man, I appreciate that, man. You know, and again, you know, my whole thing is to, you know, just constantly creating, constantly keep everybody, you know, entertained and keep everybody, you know, in tune to what I'm doing. And, you know, and as you pointed out, again, this album that we dropped a few months ago, the Be More to France album. That was myself, my man, Son, S-O-N, and Don Street, and Kino Beats, who's from France, actually. That was the point of us coming up with this project, is to, you know, to give people a different ear to, you know, how can somebody from Baltimore make a record with somebody from France? I mean, how is that possible? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that just doesn't happen. You don't have somebody from Baltimore that comes up collectively with an album with somebody from France that we never even met face to face before yet. You know,
I want to get into that. You can't just leave that alone now. How was that whole experience? Because I know you weren't. You know, you can't leave that alone. You've been too humble about it. How was that whole experience to be an independent artist, working with producers and people acknowledging your music overseas? How did that feel? How did that feel, man?
It's my first time having an experience was shocking, man. Like my first whim of that was when somebody from London, England, was giving me props on my music. I'm like, London. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, and let me just say this, man. These are two artists that's on the album with me, Sun and Don Street. These brothers have already been overseas, and their music has been overseas for a minute, and they've actually been over there, you know, countries like Japan and London. So outside of those two, I haven't been there, you know, so they actually brought me into it and opened my eyes to a totally different scene that I was like, you know, totally unaware of. So that's something amazing to me. I mean, to be honest with you, the more people from overseas really know my music than people in Baltimore, you know, and I'm not really mad at that, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, if you want to be a local rapper or local MC, you know, I don't have no problem with that. But where the line comes in is that, do you want to stay a local artist? Do you want to stay a local rapper? Do you want to stay a local MC? My goal has never been to be a strictly Baltimore rapper, and to have that title local branded upon me, and that's it. Like, you know, that's your whole goal. Nah, that was never my goal. You know what I'm saying? So my goal was to always reach people, as many people as I can outside of Baltimore, and it just so happens that I got the opportunity to, you know, reach people a little bit further outside of Baltimore than what I even imagined. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a, you know, real surreal experience that I never thought that I would be able to partake in. But, you know, it's a definite blessing, man.
Now, I wanted to ask you this, because this is like perfect. This album and everything, man, the production, the content, everything put together with this, man, is definitely industry level coming from independents. Now, how did the producer be able, was he a fan already? How was this match as far as the production with these songs and everything? How did that work out? Did you already become a fan of his, or you was a fan of his, or how did that marriage happen?
Yeah, well, the dude Kino Beats, he's a young up and coming producer from France. He's already worked with Don Street prior to that. So, you know, Don is real familiar with each other. And then that's when, you know, he patched me and Son through to a Kino Beats, and once Kino heard my music and heard Son's music, then it was real easy for him to, you know, come up with production to match our styles, you know, because he's real intelligent. He has a real good ear for what that hip hop sound is that we're looking for. Now, me personally, it was real easy for him to, you know, match beats to my style, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, he would always send out beats, and, you know, if we would like it, we would hit him up. But it was something that he was constantly sending that it was itching my ear. Like, every time I heard it, I'm like, you know, this guy's on point, man. So, you know, and then we came up with the concept, and honestly, some of the songs that we've already did, that we recorded and we wrote down, like a few of mine, what he did was he wanted to remix those songs and use his beats. And then what wound up happening was that the majority of the album was produced by him. It was only about 2 tracks that was produced by somebody else, but 15 out of the 17 tracks was all produced by him. And, you know, it was like he was, you know, sending us new beats and, well, let's use this beat for this song, and it was working. So he was like, look, if it's not broke, why we gonna try to fix it? You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing was working perfectly, man. And then we came up with this, and the final product, as you can see and as you listen to it, you know, hey, man, I can't be mad at that. Can't be mad at that at all.
Man, I'm loving the project. Just to let y'all know, I'm on the phone right now with my man, Lord Baltimore. Make sure y'all check out the album from Be More to France and all your digital media outlets. Hot album. I'm trusting you would not be sitting here and be like, another one. I'm telling you, real hot album. Love the content. Make sure y'all check it out from Be More to France. Hey, man, I don't want to talk about it no more, Lord Baltimore. I want to play some music.
Let's do it.
I want to play some music for them. Let them hear what I'm talking about if they didn't hear it already, and we're going to come back and chop it up with you and everything. Is that cool?
That's good. That's cool, man. I'm here, Jay.
All right, that's what's up. It's your boy, Jay Jackson, live from Atlanta. Make sure you give us a call at 347-945-6093, or go ahead and go to YouStreamRadio.com, click the Listen Live button, and you can go ahead and holler at your boy, Lord Baltimore. We're going to go ahead and take you to that hot album from Be More to France. Check it out. It's your boy, Jay Jackson. Let go.